Message to the Editor by Patrick Galvin. Sir, the Lord pardon the people of this town, because I can't. When I dropped dead in the street 3 weeks ago, I thought they'd bury me in style. A state funeral was the least of it, with the heads of government and the nobility in attendance. I even looked forward to the funeral oration in Irish, with a few words on my past achievements, our greatest poet, a seat in heaven to the man, and how I deserved better. But did I get it? My corpse lay in Baggot Street for a fortnight before anyone noticed it. And when I was finally removed to the mortuary, I was abused by a medical student who couldn't open a bag of chips, let alone the body of your greatest poet. Then, to add to the indignity, I was pushed into an icebox and some clod stuck a label on my foot saying, "Unknown bard, probably foreign." If it wasn't for a drunken Cork man who thought I was his dead brother, I'd still be lying there, unclaimed. At least the man had the decency to bury me. But where am I? Boxed in some common graveyard, surrounded by peasants and people of no background. When I think of the poems I wrote and the great prophecies I made, I could choke. I can't write now because the coffin is too narrow and there's no light. I'm trying to send this through a medium, but you know what they're like. Table-tapping bastards reeking of ectoplasm. If you manage to receive this, I'd be glad if you'd print it. There's no point in asking you to send me a copy. I don't even know my address.
Letting Go, for Scott, by Vivian McKechnie. Though I let you go into the light, though I stood in airports as barriers lifted and planes took flight, I wait your call. And it comes from those exotic places, Tuliporn, Ko Chang, and Sachin, spoken in your new intonation. And I have a whole new language to learn. I listen to the first note of your song, for its major key, its melodic message from 7 hours ahead to 7 hours behind. You sleep in my day and walk in my night. But sometimes you reach across the world, coming from there to here to now, only a fingertip away. And some days, the magpie's sighting brings a double pause. Your song's note flattened to its minor key. I catch the echoed sounds, push useless buttons, fingers faltering. Then, in the empty kitchen's quiet hum, I write in blue ink on white paper, wrap plum pudding in tinfoil, seal it and send it. A €16 packet of love.
Caltrock by Mary O'Malley. The children were never told about those places. The unbreachable silence of women protected us from terrible things. we heard the dread whisperings and peopled the swarming spaces with ghosts. Yet we never knew. They buried unnamed innocents by the sea's edge and in the unchurched graveyards that straddled boundary walls. Those infants, half human, half soul, were left to make their own way on the night shore. Forbidden funerals. Where did mothers do their crying? In the 2-roomed cottages, so beloved of those Irish times. Never in front of the living children. Where then? In the haggard, the cowshed, the shadowed alcoves of the church? That Christian religion was hard. It mortified the flesh and left mothers lying empty, their full breasts aching, forever afraid of what the winter storms might yield. Their own dreams turning on them like dogs.
Cuchulainn, Comforted by William Butler Yeats. A man that has 6 mortal wounds, a man violent and famous, strode among the dead. I stared out of the branches and were gone. Then certain shrouds that muttered head to head came and were gone. He leant upon a tree as though to meditate on wounds and blood. A shroud that seemed to have authority among those bird-like things came and let fall a bundle of linen. Shrouds by 2 and 3 came creeping up because the man was still. And thereupon the linen carrier said, "Your life can grow much sweeter if you will obey our ancient rule and make a shroud. Mainly because of what we only know. The rattle of those arms make us afraid. We thread the needle's eyes, and all we do, all must together do." That done, the man took up the nearest and began to sew. "Now we must sing and sing the best we can. But first, you must be told our character. Convicted cowards all, by kindred slain, or driven from home and left to die in fear. They sang, but had not human tunes, nor words, though all was done in common as before. They had changed their throats, and had the throats of birds.
The Dark Thorn Tree. Translated by Thomas Kinsella. A man imagines that I am devoted when he swears his vow. 2 parts in 3 die when I remember your talk with me. The driven snow forever falling on Sleevey Lynn. Oh, my beloved is like slow blossom on the dark thorn tree. I thought my heart's love would not go whining about a dowry, and would not leave me forsaken, ever
on account of wealth. It is bitter pity that I am not with him who has vexed my heart. In a mountain valley, away from everyone, and the dew lying. Down in my pocket, I have a present from my first beloved. It is bitter pity we are not together with the priest before us to join together our double fortune. Ere he goes abroad. Who ere condemn it? I'll utter praise of my heart's love. Who ere condemn it? Myself, I'll settle down by his side. Who ere condemn it? 1,000 arrows through his heart's core. O star of knowledge among these people, you have seared my heart. And oh dear God, what will I do if you go and leave me? I do not know the way to your home, or your hearth, or bed. My mother, dear, she is afflicted, and my father's in the grave. Much angered at me are all my people, and my love far off. Upon my eyes there is a shadow, and I have not slept for thinking of you, my first beloved, all last night long. On your account, I have rejected the world entire. My fragrant branch, oh, what possessed you to swear untruly? A foolish man will take to climbing the higher ditch, when there beside him is a little low ditch to rest his hand on. The mountain ash is a lofty tree, but its fruit is bitter, while blackberries and raspberries grow on the bush of the lowliest blossom. 200 farewells I would bid you. Love 1,000-fold. I cannot well with these lying gossips depend upon you. I have no skiff to chase you in, nor any boat. The sea is full tide and runs against me, and I cannot swim.
The Song of Wandering Aengus by William Butler Yeats. I went out to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands
and hilly lands. I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done. The silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun.
What is the Word? By Samuel Beckett. Folly. Folly for two. For two. What is the Word? Folly from this. All this. Folly from all this. Given. Folly given all this. Seeing. Folly seeing all this. This. What is the Word? This here. All this here. Folly given all this. Seeing, folly seeing all this here. For two. What is the Word? See, glimpse, seem to glimpse, need to seem to glimpse, folly for to need to seem to glimpse. What is the Word? And where? Folly for to need to seem to glimpse. What, where? What is the Word? Seeing all this. Folly for to need to seem to glimpse. What, where? What is the Word? Seem, glimpse, seem to glimpse, need to seem to glimpse, a faint afar away over there. Folly for to need to seem to glimpse, a faint afar away over there. What is the Word? What is the Word?
Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end no darkers right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage against the dying of the light. Wild men, who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned, too late, they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light.
Literacy Class, South Inner City, by Paula Meehan. One remembers welts festering on her palm. She'd spelt sacrament wrong. 7 years of age, preparing for Holy Communion. Another is calm, describing the exact humiliation. 40 years on. The rage at wearing her knickers on her head one interminable day for the crime of wetting herself. Oh God. Another swears she was punch drunk most of her school days, clattered about the ears, made to say, I am stupid, my head's a sieve, I don't know how to think, I don't deserve to live. Late November, the dark chill of the room, Christmas looming and none of us well fixed. We bend each evening in scarves and coats to the work of mending what is broken in us, without tricks, without wiles, with no time to waste now. We plant words on these blank fields. It is an unmapped world, and we are pioneering agronomists launched onto this strange planet. The sad flag of the home placed newly furled.
Sailing to Byzantium by W.B. Yeats. That is no country for old men, the young in one another's arms, birds in the trees, those dying generations at their song. The salmon falls, the mackerel crowded seas. Fish, flesh or fowl commend all summer long. Whatever is begotten, born and dies. Caught in that sensual music, all neglect, monument of unaging intellect. An aged man is but a paltry thing. An aged man is but a paltry thing, a tattered coat upon a stick. Unless soul clap its hands and sing, and louder sing for every tatter in its mortal dress. Nor is there singing school but studying monuments of its own magnificence. And therefore I have sailed the seas and come to the holy city of Byzantium. O sages standing in God's holy fire, as in the gold mosaic of a wall, come from the holy fire, burn in a gyre, and be the singing masters of my soul. Consume my heart away, sick with desire, and fasten to a dying animal. It knows not what it is, and gather me into the artifice of eternity. Once out of nature, I shall never take my bodily form from any natural thing, but such a form as Grecian goldsmiths make, of hammered gold and gold enameling to keep a drowsy emperor awake, or set upon a golden bough to sing to lords and ladies of Byzantium of what is past or passing or to come.
The Whole Mess, Almost, by Gregory Corso. I ran up 6 flights of stairs to my small furnished room, opened the window, and began throwing out those things most important in life. First to go, truth, squealing like a fink. Don't, I'll tell awful things about you. Oh yeah, well I've nothing to hide. Out. Then went God, glowering and whimpering in amazement. It's not my fault. I'm not the cause of it all. Out. Then love, cooing bribes. You'll never know impotency. All the girls on Vogue covers, all yours. I pushed her fat ass out and screamed. You always end up a bummer. I picked up faith, hope, charity, all 3 clinging together. Without us, you'll surely die. With you, I'm going nuts. Goodbye. Then beauty. Ah, beauty. As I led her to the window, I told her, you I loved best in life. But you're a killer. Beauty kills. Not really meaning to drop her, I immediately ran downstairs, getting there just in time to catch her. You saved me, she cried. I put her down and told her, move on. Went back up those 6 flights, went to the money. There was no money to throw out. The only thing left in the room was death, hiding beneath the kitchen sink. "I'm not real," it cried. "I'm just a rumor spread by life." Laughing, I threw it out, kitchen sink and all, and suddenly realized humor was all that was left. All I could do with humor was to say, "Out the window with the window."
Making Love Outside Our Snookdron by Paul Durkin. When I was a boy, myself and my girl used to bicycle up to the Phoenix Park. Outside the gates, we used to lie in the grass, making love outside our Snookdron. Often I wondered what De Valera would have thought inside in his ivory tower if he knew that we were in his green, green grass, making love outside our Snookdron. Because the odd thing was, oh how odd it was, we both revered Irish patriots, and we dreamed our dreams of a green, green flag, making love outside our Snookdron. But even at our names being Dermot and Grania, we doubted De Valera's approval for a poet's son and a judge's daughter making love outside our Snookdron. I see him now, in the heat haze of the day, blindly stalking us down. And, levelling an ancient rifle, he says, "Stop making love outside our Snookdron."
The Countermanding Order, 1916, by Moya Cannon. And my young grandmother, what of her? Was she, too, dejected? No documentary evidence exists. My mother, too young at 7 months to remember herself, used to tell us she heard the horse and trap in the yard again and could not believe her ears. What was my grandmother doing? Did she clear away a half-eaten Easter dinner, talking distractedly to her 2 little boys as she scraped jelly from a glass bowl? Did she mix feed for hens or pigs, or wonder about bringing cattle in for milking? Did she pray or take out her handwork? Only hours earlier, in the swept farmyard, she had said goodbye to her husband of 6 years, her exiled lover of 7 more, whose letters had been carried in steamships across Caribbean and Atlantic tides. On this Sunday morning, had they embraced as he headed for the muster at Dungannon, as he enjoined her to bring up the children as good Catholics and good Irish men and Irish women? My mother, in old age, was to remark with a raised eyebrow, "Wasn't it cool of him all the same?" Now, as the trap clattered in through the gate, and the horse, Rebel, halted in his familiar place, did my young grandmother wipe her hands in her apron? Did she rush to the door? Although the rising had been called off, although the great cause seemed lost again, did her heart not rejoice?